Hi there, this is Satyajit Ray from Satyajit Ray Films, and welcome to another episode of my director collections, where I just show off releases that I have of a certain director. And now we're going to India for one of the most underrated world cinema masters, or just cinema masters. Calling it world cinema is always a bit of a derogatory statement. It's just cinema masters. I mean, I am guilty of not really having seen any other Indian filmmakers, which I should really rectify, but certainly my favourite Indian filmmaker is of course Satyajit Ray. So I'm going to go through the films that I have of his. We should have more films of Ray's work on Blu-ray. I think there was a lot of his films. Was it in Chicago, an archive that had a fire? So there's some of his films, I don't know whether they'll be lost, or hopefully we'll get to see some of them, like Distant Thunder and other films. So I'm going to start with one of my favourite Ray films, even though Ray's very much like John Sayles, your favourite one's the last one you watched. I'm going to start off with this collector's edition of Days and Nights in the Forest from 1970. The wonderful Renoirian film about a bunch of friends from the city just going out to the countryside for a weekend. Just beautiful, well observed, gentle comedy drama. I mean, obviously a lot of Ray's work is about old world and new world. It's about the end of British colonialism, about the pressure to speak English, the death of original languages, the modern world, as I said, kind of coming in, you know, the famous use of the symbol of the train in Ray's films. But it's generally through, obviously one of his muses is Sumitra Chatterjee. Just society, beautiful characters, simple stories, or deceptively simple stories, naturalism. You know, Ray didn't have any training in making films. It certainly looks as though you don't actually need training looking at his work, but he did do a lot of music as well, which was also one of his passions. So moving on, we'll actually go to the Criterion collection, which does have some of his films, just not enough. Spine number 1102, Devi, or Devi the Goddess, from 1960, about a woman, Sharmila Tagore, who Chubby Biswas, who's in another classic Ray film. She plays his daughter-in-law, and he thinks she is the incarnation of Devi, the mother goddess. Sumitra Chatterjee is in this one as well. It's a 4K restoration. It's as wonderful as it's going to look without actually getting a 4K, but again, if it's a 4K restoration, a 4K is not really going to improve it too much. Yeah, this is absolutely wonderful. I did a random review of this when I did my, well, I didn't do a random review, when I did a Satyajit Ray director series, which bizarrely are some of my most watched videos, so you can go check them out. And then spine number 783, 784 and 785, you can probably guess what this is. It's the Apu trilogy, with obviously Pather Panchali from 55, which was his debut One of the greatest debuts of all time that nobody seems to mention. Aparajito from 1956 and Apu Sansar, or World of Apu, 1959. All absolutely wonderful. Now this is available on 4K and Criterion as well, but it is rather pricey. Maybe one day I'll upgrade, but these look really good. On Blu-ray, this is the Region A set. Yeah, groundbreaking, and again just the simplicity, especially of Pather Panchali, and again with no training, it's absolutely wonderful. Yeah, it actually says 20 years after its original negatives were burned in a fire. Satyajit Ray. Breathtaking milestone of world cinema rises from the ashes in a meticulously reconstructed new restoration. So these are 4K restorations, so again I'm not actually sure you really need to upgrade to 4K. And then one of the Eclipse sets is Late Ray. This is The Home in the World, Enemy of the People, in his final film, The Stranger. All beautiful little films. I mean, The Stranger is a wonderful end point in 1991. I think he did direct quite a lot of it from like an oxygen tent. These are DVDs, of course, in the clip set. Yeah, The Stranger's probably the pick out of the bunch. Also The Enemy of the People, from the Ibsen play. I'm sure it was like did Kirk Douglas not do a version of that bizarrely? It might not have been Kirk Douglas, but there was a Hollywood actor that did a version of that as well. Then arguably my favourite, Charulata, The Lonely Wife. This is from 1964. This stars Madhabi Mukherjee and Sumitra Chatterjee, of course. Chatterjee plays a poet who is Mukherjee's husband's cousin, who stays and develops a relationship with her because her husband is working all the time. It's just, again, it's a beautiful little film. It's a U certificate, so no sex and violence. This is a 2K transfer. Again, it's just a elegant, gentle, humane drama, which is pretty much sums up Mr. Rai. And then Spy Number 573 from 1958. This is the Criterion DVD of The Music Room. A 2-discer, which includes a feature-length documentary on Rai from 1984. Yeah, this is, I know it's been compared to Citizen Kane as far as an older man struggling to find a place in the modern world and looking back. Obviously this music plays a great part in the film, and this is the Region B Blu-ray upgrade. Again, pretty much has no extras, it's just a 1-disc instead of a 2-disc. And this again stars Chubby Biswas as the lost king of his empire. Just a beautiful thing. It's all about the little details that Rai gives us. And then this is a wonderful box set. It's out of print. If you can somehow find it, it's probably quite expensive, but it's so worth it. This is the Artificial Eye set, which has 5 classics. It has The Big City, The Lonely Wife, Charulata, The Coward, The Holy Man, and The Hero. So it's probably one of my favourite box sets in my collection. So Mahangar from 1963, Charulata from 1964, Kaparush from 1965, Mahapurush from 1965, and Nayak from 1966. and it does have that classic Kurosawa quote on the back. Not to have seen the cinema of Satyajit Ray means existing in the world without seeing the sun or the moon. I don't think anybody's ever said that about Brett Ratner. And these, excuse me, these come in individual Blu-rays. That's the Hero, starring Chatterjee, strangely enough. The Coward, starring Chatterjee. Again, if you want to see more in-depth reviews of these films, just go to my Satyajit Ray Directors series on my channel. The Holy Man, which is hilarious, as well as being another copy of Lonely Life. And The Big City, which is another masterwork. So as I said, this is probably my top 10 favourite box sets that I've got in the collection. Then we've got a couple of Artificial Eye DVD sets. So this is volume 2, which has The Coward, The Holy Man, but it has The Elephant God, Joy Baba Falanath, which is a colour detective film, which is hilarious as well. Actually based on the novel that Ray wrote. So yes, he's one of those directors that's just a bit of a show-off. Writer, director, musician, composer, just a show-off basically. And volume 3 is Deliverance, Home in the World and an Enemy of the People. I think I gave volume 1 away because I had them all on Blu-ray. So more wonderful Ray films. And again, it's the beauty of cinema. I've never been to India. I'll probably never be to India. But again, you just see into a world that you're not familiar with, and you realise, oh, these people are, I was going to say like me, but I don't think anybody's like me. So, and then we have a DVD of Company Limited, which is a wonderful satire on business, or Seema Bahada, which again, I'm probably mispronouncing. This is from 1971, and this is the second part of his Calcutta trilogy, with The Adversary from 71 and The Middleman from 75, which I haven't seen. That's another one of the missing Ray films, shall we say. And then Two Daughters, again from Mr. Bongo. Mr. Bongo is a sneaky good DVD label and Blu-ray label as well. When is this from? This is early in his career, or earlier in his career. This is a compilation film, an anthology film. The original version I think had 3 stories. This just has 2. I think the 3-story version is gone now. But this is a fun little, not one of his best, but certainly worth seeing if you're a Ray fan. And then The Adversary, again part of the Calcutta trilogy. This is from 1972, and again this is quite wonderful as well. But again, DVD, could all use Blu-ray upgrades. And then finally, The Chess Players, which again is more about British colonialism explicitly, from 1977, and this stars Sir Richard Attenborough, strangely enough playing a British officer. Also stars Saeed Jaffrey, and it's rather wonderful, beautiful colour, cinematography. This needs a Blu-ray as well because the colours do absolutely pop. And again, this is one of Ray's more explicit satires of the British colonialism. So thanks very much for watching. One day I hope to have a bigger Satyajit Ray collection than that, but that should be everybody's wish, because these films are just elegant. There's nothing crass about Ray's films. Elegant, beautiful, pastoral, seemingly simple, but there's a lot of depth going on underneath them. And again, for somebody that had no filmmaking training, he has a natural eye for composition. Not one of the big boys as far as composition is concerned, but just has a natural eye for it. And you'll feel a nice warm glow after you watch a Satyajit Ray film, or maybe that's just me. So thanks so much for watching this episode of Director Collections. Hopefully you'll join me for more episodes. But on that bombshell, thanks very much for watching. This is Satyajit Ronan from Satyajit Ronan Films, saying farewell.